This morning sees me in Hunstanton, and I'm about to complete, or try and complete, the Norfolk Coastal Path walk. Now, if you have seen my Pedder's Way video, you'll know that the two of those walks can be combined together to make one national trail. This particular section starts here in Hunstanton and finishes 84 miles later down in Hopton-On-Sea. Should be a simple enough route, because all you've got to do is keep the blue stuff, although it's not particularly blue this morning, on the left. I'll put up the pack weight that I'm carrying and also some details of the suggested itinerary for this trip. I'm not quite sure, but I'm going to stick to it. Weather's a bit moody and rainy this morning. It was absolutely glorious yesterday when I arrived, but hey ho, you can't have it all, can you? So there'll be a little bit of a head down, and let's get it done. the end of day one, albeit the Caister-On book, which is where I get all my information from, tells me that I've actually completed 1 3/4 days worth of walking. Today was suggested that I did this particular route. Tomorrow's leg would have been to here, and this is where I currently am now. Wells next to sea, and I'm currently in Mill Farm campsite. It's a farm, working farm, which caters for motorhomes and tents, £12 per night. And I just rocked up. Very good facilities, considering that it's a basic campsite, but everything that you need for the price point, so nothing to worry about there. The route today, which is why I've done so many miles, this place, the Norfolk coastline, is absolutely superb, really scenic, and at points very dramatic. Coming out of Hunstanton, you're met with the sandstone cliffs straight away, and if the tide is in or it's a bit moody out to sea, you're forced up onto the actual top, and that's basically where you're going to get your height from. From there, you're walking out through Old Hunstanton, past the golf course, and then to the start or the finish of the Pedder's Way. Now, just be mindful, and don't make the mistake I made. Instead of going onto the Pedder's Way and then taking the Norfolk Coastal Path, I continued on the beach for about 1.5 miles past that point, and ended up at a section of beach where it was closed off to the public, so I had to walk the 1.5 miles back to then walk the 1.5 miles back to where I was supposed to go. So just be warned. Once you get past the golf course, take a right off the beach, you'll see the signpost for the end of the Pedder's Way, take a left and carry on through there. After that, you're walking around sand dunes, mainly on the top of the dunes. There are some boardwalk sections which are really pleasing and heavenly to the feet, and some major path sections as well. And every now and again, you're positioned on the A149, the main road. All of these different paths take you past a number of eateries and cafes and that type of stuff. So in reality, there's plenty to keep you occupied, and you don't have to worry too much about how much food you actually carry. There is a section where you're walking through the scrub and the marshland on a sea defence, so a ridge which goes on for miles and miles and miles. And if it's rainy and moody like it was today, there's not a fat lot to see. However, it does make the Surrey quite dramatic. If the sun was out, it'd be absolutely epic. There are some glorious beaches along this route. So if you can pick a good section of days to do this, it'll be well worth it. In reality, a very level, flat, easy walk, and you can get those miles just knocked off, no problem at all. So tomorrow, which is day 2, I'll be doing the last section of day 2, the section of day 3, and perhaps beyond. Who knows? It all depends on how I feel. I've been into Wells and had a bit of a meal to treat myself for the hard work today. I'm going to go and have a shower now, set the tent up properly, get some kip, start again tomorrow. So stay tuned. Good morning. Day 2, and I'm going to be doing the last section of day 2's suggested route, and then day 3's, which takes me over to Clay next to sea. But that's only going to be a short handful of miles, no more than about 10, I think, taking into consideration the last couple of miles I've got to do today. So I may well jog on to somewhere around Weybourne, that's going to be my my goal for today. If I get there, great. If not, just taking these fabulous views. End of day 2, and I made it all the way over to Weybourne, so I've done some really good mileage. I'm currently sat in Foxhill campsite, an absolutely glorious place, well manicured. I think it's made specifically for motorhomes, but it's only £11.50 to pitch, so a great facility. The route today, well, it's mainly salt marshes. So if you follow those, you're going to have a good day. The weather was very, very changeable. At one point it tipped it down with rain, so that wasn't particularly enjoyable, but the sun's out now. So from Wells all the way over to Stiffkey is salt marsh. Nothing much to see there. The town of Stiffkey is a really nice place to be in to get a bit of a coffee and cake. From there, you're back out onto the salt marshes again, onto the sea defences, and it can be very hard underfoot, but because of the rain it was actually quite pleasant, even though it was quite long. And that takes you into the town of Blakeney, and that's a really nice place to be, and that's where I had my bacon and egg sandwich. A few National Trust properties or landmarks along that route, and you can go out onto the salt marshes to get closer to the sea, but just be mindful that it's a bit boggy. From there over to Clay next to the sea. Again, a small town where you can restock and refresh if you need to, and then back out. Now, this is where you have to make a choice. If the weather's particularly bad, I don't think there's any point in getting yourself out onto the actual route which takes you onto the shale pebble beach. That beach is horrendously long. I think it's about 3 or 4 miles. So if you've got some good calf muscles, then it's a good place for you to be. But outside of that, you're probably better off taking the A149. Okay, it's a bit busier and there's very little in the way of pavement area and what have you, but it won't sap your strength as much. And that will take you all the way into Weybourne, if that's where you're going to stop. I'm here now, so I'm going to take it nice and easy. Enjoy the sunshine or the break in the clouds. I think it's going to rain tomorrow, so yeah, bit of a relax and refresh, and we'll get cracking on day 3 tomorrow. Welcome to day 3. A short one today, no more than around 10 miles. Going from here over to Cromer. I told you it was going to be an easy day. Day 3 finished. I am just outside of Cromer, about half a mile away, in a place called Sheringham. Manor Farm campsite, again, a glorious place to camp. Lots of facilities, well worth the £15 for the pitch. The route to here, exceptionally easy. Really flat and easy on the feet. You spend the entire time on the cliff edges. Some spectacular views. Lots of little towns to pop into. Sheringham being one of notice. So if you're low on stocks, etc., that's the place for you to go. Outside of that, I'm going to take advantage of the fact that it's not even midday, and I'm going to have a rest for the rest of the day. I'm going to pop into Cromer later on and get some fish and chips, I think, and an ice cream by the sea. Outside of that, a bigger day tomorrow, around 18 miles. So I'll take the opportunity as the weather's coming in to relax and start again tomorrow. Day 4. A changeable morning. It's been raining most of the morning. Now I've got a clear spot, so I'm going to take the tent down now. Today sees me going over to sea paling or sea paling, bit of a longer one today, around 18 miles. end of day 4. Well, that was a long day. I said it was going to be about 18 miles, but I think I've probably done somewhere in the region of 21 or 22 miles today, and I'll get on to the reason why that was in just a moment. I'm at Sea Breeze campsite, which is about half a mile, if that, from the town of Sea Paling or Sea Paling. So I've made my location today, so good work. The weather absolutely glorious for 3/4 of this journey, and then it howled down, and I was on the coastline when it did, so welcome to Norfolk. Anyway, the route out of Cromer, straight away, once you've done the promenade, you have a choice. You can either walk along the beach, or you can find your way up onto the cliff top. Now, the beach, if you are a beach walker and you love doing that, then that's a game for you. I've never seen a beach line so massive and long. It reminds me of De Pan in Belgium. Absolutely massive, and it goes on for miles and miles and miles and more miles. I found myself up on a cliff top, and actually, what a great place to be. Sun was out, the sea was like a mill pond for 3/4 of the day. Possibly one of the best times I've had doing a long distance walk. Absolutely epic. All the way through to the Clifftop Cafe where I had my breakfast, and over to Mundersley. You can then continue along the cliff tops. Absolutely beautiful ground. It's almost as if someone's been out there with a lawnmower the whole time. Perfectly manicured, all the way to Blakeney and the gasworks. Now, this is where the extra mileage comes in. In the book, it does say that you are forced to use the beach route. However, in order to do that, you've got to go back on yourself for quite a while, because you can't get down to the beach once you've reached the gasworks. Now, there is a pathway that runs alongside the shoreline of the gasworks. However, they've decided to put up a big metal fence. It's been there for some while, and it goes all the way out over the cliff, so you can't get around it. So they're stopping you from using that particular path. So the only thing you can do, if you don't want to go back on yourself, is then walk the entire perimeter of the gasworks, and it is massive. Puts easily another mile and a bit on your journey, and you've got to go through a farmer's field, which today was great because it was dry by the time I reached there. But if it was raining later on in the day, it'd be absolutely horrendous. So if you are going to do this walk, just bear in mind that at some point, say past Mundersley, you're going to have to use the beach route. After that, though, back up onto the cliffs, and everything was superb. A nice steady walk all the way over to just before Sea Paling. This has been the best day so far for me on this walk. I've absolutely loved it, but my feet are tired now, and my knee's been playing up a little bit, so it's been a bit slow going for me today. The rain started to come in now, typically. Right, I'm all pitched up. I'm going to go and get the brew on and have a bit of a relax, and as usual, start again in the morning. The start of day 5. This campsite, superb, really basic and rustic, exactly what you want. Lovely hot showers, and a £14 to pitch. Today, a short one, over to Caister-On-Sea. Should be no more than about 10 or so miles. Weather's looking up, so hopefully the majority of it will be sunshine. end of day 5. Sea paling over to Caister-On-Sea. Now, I'm not quite at Caister. It's about half a mile up the road. I've had to come off the path to get to this campsite. Wonderful place here. I've forgotten the name, but £16 for the pitch is pretty much 5-star, and it gives you everything that you actually need. So I would definitely recommend this place. Anyway, the route from sea paling to here, well, you've got the option straight away of going out onto the dunes, but I chose the secondary path. It's still the Norfolk Coastal Path, but it sits on the right hand side of the dunes, and it takes you through a nice secluded wooded area. The path's really level, nothing to complain about. The dunes are on your left hand side, and they are massive, so you're shielded from the wind that will come from the sea. And it's pretty much that for a number of miles, and then you are put onto the actual dunes themselves when you come close to Weybourne, and that's where I saw the seals. Now, that's really where you want to be viewing the seals from. There were lots of baby seals there, and the mother seals weren't particularly too friendly, so please don't try and get your National Geographic front cover photo. View them from a distance, and there are plenty of viewing spots as you walk along the path. After the seals, the sand gets a little bit finer, so I got myself back down onto the actual solid pathway, and that took me all the way over to Hunstanton, quaint little village where I had my breakfast. Really nice place to be. And then leaving Hunstanton, it's back on the same, all the way over to Hamsby, where I had the ice cream from the Land Rover truck. Now, from Hamsby, you can jump back onto the beach and walk the further umpteen miles to Caister. I chose to do the cliff top route. However, if you do that route, please be aware that right from Hamsby, the path is closed, but there are no signs telling you that. And you'll walk for a mile or so before you're having to turn back because the route has been eroded away. Now, I got that from one of the locals, thankfully, and they put me onto a different path which circumnavigates the closure and then puts you back onto the cliff top path, and I'll try and explain that to you right now. So straight from Hamsby, you go up the slip, and there's a pub on your left hand side. You go into the car park of that pub and head for the bottom left hand corner, and there you'll see the passage to a walkway. Now, take that walkway and walk about half a mile until you reach, I think it's called Foxay Road, and from Foxay Road you turn right, and then first left again onto Foxay Road. Go all the way to the end, and you will see an alleyway to the bottom left hand corner. Take that alleyway and you'll go out onto a campsite. Got some old style chalets. Follow the road round to the left between the chalets, and there's another further entrance right at the back. That takes you onto the road, turning left. Follow that road down to the bottom, turn right, and you're back onto the pathway. Now, these are all of the what three words locations for the various twists and turns. So if they've got the names of the roads wrong, don't shoot the messenger, but these will put you right. Once you're back on the path, it's a very easy stroll down towards Caister. Lovely day. It was more 10 to 12 miles rather than 10, but still a short day. I'm here at the campsite in plenty of time, so you know the drill. It's going to be temp pitched, have a bit of a shower, have some food, and then start again tomorrow, because tomorrow is, or should be, the last day of the walk. Good morning, and welcome to day 6. Last one today. Caister-On-Sea, over to Great Yarmouth, and from Great Yarmouth to Hopton-On-Sea. I'm here, I've made it. The end of the Norfolk Coastal Path, Hunstanton to Hopton-On-Sea, 84 miles. This is a superb, beautiful walk. The eastern coastal route is absolutely magnificent and a well-kept secret. And doing it as I have in June, or the start of June, just meant that I've had the majority of it to myself. A tale of 3 elements, I suppose. The first part being very stark and dramatic, the mid part being glorious manicured cliff edges and ocean views, and then this last part a little bit of a easier stroll, with the last mile or so on the beach making you have to work for your corn. Just be mindful that if you get the tide times wrong, you could be in for a little bit of a worry. That said, this is a superb walk for all skill levels, definitely good enough for those who are new to walking. Anyway, it's just finished raining. I'm going to pack up now, get myself into town, and then think about how I'm going to get back to Hunstanton. This has been a superb trip, and I urge you to consider it. Put it in your diary. You won't go far wrong.